Well, Bobby, here we are again. This is our second chat.
hmm We're Bobby and Britton Wood, and we are chatting as Mama B and Papa B of a marriage of almost 64 years
Yes.
and children and grandchildren. So we have learned several things during this strange pandemic time. We feel like pioneers, as most people probably do, experiencing things we never thought we would. And we'd like to talk today about why good talk makes a difference in these times for a relationship of couples and also their families.
Well, I want to say one more word about pioneers. We have written a book called The Marriage Pioneers, and they are the pioneers were our mentors. But every marriage is a pioneer marriage. And now that we are in this unprecedented pandemic period, all of us are pioneers because none of us have faced what we're facing, nor do we know what's out there. So in the meantime, we are working on our relationship, as I hope all of you are in your families. And last time we talked about anger and that we need boundaries for anger, that if we keep it within a framework that we've agreed upon,
some rules,
then when we do have talk and we use good talk, then the idea is that we're within boundaries, we know we're safe. And that's a very important aspect of healthy, good talk.
So today we would like to extend that, not just about issues of disagreement and where we have divided opinion,
right,
but something we learned about issues that we've had a long time, but continued to be issues.
I don't know about you guys, but my guess is that you've had some friction from time to time during this pandemic period. You've had some upsetting moments that you didn't really need. But the point that we want to make is if you have ways to deal with that and some good talk, you can get through a lot of things. But at the same time, with good talk, you can learn things that you hadn't learned before, like we've had
Well,
the
I
opportunity.
want to tell you something I learned recently. We were cleaning out old photos,
Yes.
Drawers and drawers of old photos.
Correct.
And I was categorizing them into boxes according to families, friends, that sort of thing.
Right.
So,
our three daughters' families and other families, extended families, all kinds of things.
So I'm arranging those boxes to fit under the bed. And you asked me, do you remember what you asked?
I think I asked you, do you need more boxes?
And I didn't answer.
No, you didn't.
And you said it louder.
Right. Just to emphasize, you probably didn't hear me.
Yeah. But the thing is, I learned that what I do when it's a question that you ask me is to analyze the question.
Yes.
And then even to question the questioner. What could this mean?
What is he going for? What is he asking here?
And at that point, I realized this was an old issue that you had talked to me about. We've had that same conversation other times about just answer the question. And I
have said that.
But that was the first time I realized that I do it.
Yes.
I don't answer the question because I go into analyzing it.
Yes.
And so we continued to talk about it and actually came up with something that turned out to be good talk for us.
Yes.
And I decided that I would just answer the question as I understood it.
Whether you were correct in it or not.
The ball is in your court and you can
tell. I can rephrase it or say, well, thanks. If that was the answer I needed, then that was
But
great.
you could tell how I answer whether I understood your question or
Right.
not.
And if it didn't fit what I was asking, then I could
Reframe it.
get it going again. But it does help to know that somebody out there is listening to me
Yes,
when I ask
I'm
a
sure
question.
that must be. But the aha moment for me that made it good talk was that I realized what I was doing.
Yes.
The pause was because I was trying to decide what the question means.
Now, normally in life pre-pandemic, we would have just gone on possibly with a little irritation.
Mhm.
But here we have time to deal with it. So we took time to deal with it and worked through it. And it's been a pleasure. I mean, because several times since then, you simply answered the question, whatever question.
Well, the thing that we notice from many years of working with couples is that a lot of couples don't even talk about their marriage, their issues, their likes and dislikes, their hopes and dreams. The only time they talk about their marriage is if something's going wrong with it. Yeah. So this is a really good time to look at some old issues or to look at some good things that are going on and simply share your ideas and your particular perspective about it. It's good talk that brings couples together, and families can do the same thing.
Maybe we should say what we consider to be good talk. What is that?
Well, one characteristic of good talk is to make it I talk.
Then which we did with our dialogue.
Yes, and I just claim where I am. I just tell you what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking. I try not to blame it on you.
Right. You try not to.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Well, I don't make it you talk. I don't make it your fault.
Right.
If your question were clearer, I'd have an answer for it. It isn't you talk. It's,
in other words, you're telling me what you would do if you were using you talk.
Right.
Yeah.
But one characteristic of good talk is to stay out of blaming or manipulation and simply stick with I think and I feel and I want.
Yes.
And that way it's all on you.
So all
on the person.
I also hear that I think good talk is honest talk. I'm not only talking from an I statement, but I'm saying what I'm feeling. I'm saying where I am. I'm saying what I want. I'm really doing that rather than hinting so you can figure it out. I loved it one time when we were at a retreat and we watched this man and his wife. They were across the room from each other, and he just sort of jiggled his coffee cup.
Oh, I remember that.
And she walked all the way around to go by where the coffee was to get him a cup and bring it around to him. And I looked at you and you said, no way, that's not going to happen if you want me to do it.
Well,
and I love that because I don't expect you to do some of those things. And
well, it's not that I don't.
That you wouldn't.
I don't want to be cast in the role of your job is to notice when I want coffee.
Yeah, and I'm glad. And,
well, that's some characteristic.
But that's honesty is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And so that good talk is also honest talk. But if a couple is not involved in this kind of talk regularly, then they need to do what we have found helpful, and that is to have a couple time. Set aside time just to talk about the relationship.
Mhm. It's a really good way to get out of marital ruts. If yours has not been the family, the relationship that takes time to be together and to do some good talking
Right.
about where you are.
Yes.
Couple time ensures every day that the two of you talk about your relationship, not about your schedules, not about the kids, not about the extended family,
Mhm. Right.
but where you are today
Right.
in your relationship. And it's always good to start with what's good about the relationship.
Yes, and another thing about good talk is it's kind talk. It is generous with compliments and affirmations with each other. If you're busy affirming each other, more than likely you're not busy criticizing each other.
Well, I think all of us are short of compliments every day. We
Yes.
get busy on our own stuff. We have lots of things happen that we really have no control over. And often we feel inept, particularly in these times when we sometimes just don't know what to do.
Yes.
To feel that there's somebody on our side who's affirming us, who's proud of us, who says so, keeps us on at least balanced, keeps us on an even keel. So I think giving compliments every day is a kind of good talk that makes a real difference in the mood of the couple.
Well, not only that, when you give compliments, the tendency is I'm going to feel wanted, I'm going to feel desired, I'm going to feel needed, I'm going to feel safer to even share more of myself with you because we are close. And the more you're open to my sharing, probably the more I will share.
Mm-hmm. So if you have not had a couple time before, start with something simple, something that I really like about you, and here's why. Could be something the person has done, could be something the person is, but it'll sound good planning to say it, it'll sound good to the person hearing it, and both will remember it.
I loved our birthday dinner that we had. This is your week of birthday.
Yes, it
Just
is.
yesterday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday,
Mhm.
yes, that's right. This is not Wednesday. Anyway, you suggested that we share some what?
Something we've learned. We're both in our 80s, I'm sure you can tell. And so it seemed like a broad span of time to say something that we've learned.
To maybe find one or two or three maximum things that we've learned in all these years. But anyway, we only got through two things that we had learned in these years through the meal. I mean, it took, we just talked about everything. But I honestly believe one of the reasons we could do that so easily is that we have a couple time every day.
Oh, that's a good point.
And that
we're
used to talking about where we are and what's going on. And it becomes a habit. It's a good habit. It's a good talk habit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think.
And for those who have children at home during this time, it's really a good habit for them to see that parents need some time together and want some time together. It establishes that couples are important.
Right. We have given a lot of these books away, and I hope a number of you have them. But if you don't have it, it's worthwhile to look into this. If you've not done couple time, there are 365 conversation starters that you could use on 12 different themes. Mm-hmm. And so you could do a lot with that. Our other book that's the Marriage Pioneers has chapters with exercises for couples at the end of each chapter. And it also has a statement from us as to the impact of that emphasis of the chapter.
Mm-hmm.
But
the thing is, it gives couples who are not used to talking to each other honestly and kindly and with generous affirmations, it gives a place to start without feeling awkward and phony and, oh, I've got to think of something to say. It just makes it a natural and a very pleasant experience to have a talk time every day.
And there's a question at the end of each page in the Marriage for the Everyday book that gives you an opportunity to just respond to a question. And so it's another way to do good talk.
So what we have said is that good talk is honest and good talk is kind. Both of those things are good. Good talk goes better when there's lots of I talk, just claiming where you are, explaining your hopes, explaining your disappointments, and keeping it all on you, not blaming it on anybody else.
Right.
And good talk is generous with affirmations and lots of compliments for people who are trying to do the best they can in a difficult, totally pioneer situation.
We enjoy being with you, and I hope this has been a good time. It has been good for me, and therefore hope to see you next week with another chat.
From Mama B and Papa B, good morning.
Be safe.